Yeah, we live. Battle Rap
Yes,
Radar
sir.
presents Ringsideradio. We bringing that battle rap to the wrestling world. About to turn up on the culture.
Yo, we live, we full in effect, man. Shout out to Blog Talk Radio. We here bringing that battle rap culture to the WWE world. You feel what I'm talking about? Shout out to Minutes in the building. Shout out to myself, Tweak in the building. Let's kick this thing off the right way, you dig?
Talk that shit, man. We got a whole week worth of wrestling to talk about right now. A whole lot of craziness that went on from Sunday all the way till yesterday. So we about to go through the whole weekly lineup, give our reviews. Anybody that calls up, we're going to have guests on and let them talk their opinions on what happened. But let's start it up with the great Pause of Fire.
Oh, man.
I don't know why they decided to name it this.
First of all, I think that was one of the dumbest WWE names I think they ever came up with. But hey, Great Balls of Fire. It was one of those pay-per-views I had to really I had to scratch my head on because a lot of the matches I personally felt like was a little, it was predictable, of course, and then there's some I felt a team got cheated, and the ending result to the whole main event was a little crazy too. But we're gonna go through these matches and we're gonna talk about them and discuss, the pros and the cons of things. So let's get into it. Let's get into the pre-show. What was the pre-show?
Yes, right. So before the pre-show, I want to say this: the original name of this pay-per-view was Bad Blood, and it's funny how this was the first pay-per-view in a long time that almost every match ended up bloody. Like, there was somebody in every match that ended up leaking. So they changed the name for no reason. They should have left it Bad Blood because this was the first time in a while that we've seen that much blood. Well, yeah, we started off the night with this cruiserweight. Man. Neville and Tozawa, the man that's running around with Titus O'Neil now. This is one of the matches that definitely had a retarded ending. Yeah, definitely shout out to the Titus brand. He revamped himself because he was going down the drain trying to push that heel role, and he came back with the management shit, so I give him a shout out for that. But yeah, the ending to this match was definitely one of the first ones that I was upset about already because for a pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire, the way that it finished with Tozawa falling on the ropes and just hanging there, just waiting to get knocked down, to get pinned, like, it made no sense to me the way that finished.
The ending to that match was really, really stupid. So Tozawa ends up on the ropes. Typical basic move, a kick to the ropes, to the groin that affected his groin area, and then it was a simple 1, 2, 3. I think it could have ended in, Neville fashion with his submission hold, or the more creative version of a shooting star press, I would say. It could have ended like that, but no, it ended in a basic kick to the ropes, 1, 2, 3, and it's over. But, that's the cruiserweight part of it. But those two guys I tip my hat to because people sleep on the cruiserweight division because they're little guys and they really don't put them against the big guys anymore. We haven't seen that since like leaving out of the Attitude Era when all the guys started coming into WWE. So we really don't get to see the big guy versus little guy matches anymore. But these two guys, Tozawa and especially Neville is amazing. Like he deserves the name King of the Cruiserweight because he always gives us something that be like, okay, what is he gonna do next? What is he gonna do next? And he goes out and gives 110%. And I love him as a heel. I love him as a heel.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that his character right now is great.
Yes. The babyface thing didn't work. It was cool, but it wasn't progressing his career. So what's going on with him now is phenomenal. I hope he keeps the title for a little bit longer. Let's wait for like a major pay-per-view. I know SummerSlam is their their summer big event, but I think let's say Survivor Series.
Yeah, Neville's one of those champions I definitely feel should hold it a little longer than most because he's just run through everybody in the whole division. And it's not even with cheating or anything. Even if it's a straight-up match or if it's because of some sideways heel move, he always comes out winning. It doesn't matter. Facts.
I definitely agree with that. Who do you think can really challenge Neville for the title? If, let's say, okay, we got SummerSlam coming up. Who do you think, besides Tozawa, that can really give him a run for his money?
I mean, you know what it is? The problem is the people they have that are good wrestlers, they're not pushing them as much. Like, Jack Gallagher, I feel like he could do it. His wrestling style is different, and he could definitely pull it off, but they're not pushing him the way they should. And that's one thing that's twisted with the wrestling thing. Like, if they're not pushing your character a certain way, we're not going to expect him to be the one to take Neville out.
I agree.
Yeah, Jack is definitely one of them.
So that was a cruiserweight. That was a cruiserweight match. That was a pre-show. We kick off Great Balls of Fire with the match that was next. I believe it was Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins.
Yep.
And that was another match the ending toward that match was just crazy. A thumb to the eye, and it was Abigail kiss, Sister Abigail, and it was a 1-2-3. The match itself, it was a good back and forth between Bray and Seth. The only thing I do not like about Seth is his finishing maneuver. That whole jumping knee thing. They got to do something else with that. Yeah.
And I think it's because they're trying to transition them back to the style that they came from. Because, they all came from New Japan and ROH. Like, over there, everything was about knees and elbows. And now they're bringing all these guys over to WWE, so they're trying to push that. Like, all these guys hitting knee shots and elbows. Like, and Seth can't go back to doing the pedigree again. Like, that was bad enough already. Like, his special was somebody else's move. So we know he could do it. He's got so many moves in his arsenal that definitely a knee to the face should not be his finisher. But it is what it is.
I agree 100%.
I agree on the finish too. Like that was another one of the, like, it was a good back and forth match, and then at the end it's just like poke to the eye, Sister Abigail match is over, and you're like, really, you went through all of that to have a bullshit ending, and it's like, what was the point? You could have spent the time finishing any other way. I would have taken any other real ending other than that. If you're gonna have a certain person win the match, at least have him go over properly. Wyatt don't need to cheat. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, a very good wrestler. And if anybody's familiar with Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt is not a new guy. He's actually been in the WWE for a long time. Well, in and out.
Yeah, from the next days.
So to see where he started from and where he's at now, he definitely deserves a way stronger push. And even with the storyline between Seth Rollins, it could have been a little bit more. Could have been a little more chaotic leading up to Great Balls of Fire. But I guess they're saving a lot of things for SummerSlam. This is one of those pay-per-views they throw in, leading up to the big conclusion to the summer. So we shouldn't have expected as much, but it could have been a little bit more added to this storyline to make this an even greater match. And like we both agree on, the ending was just shitty. So I would grade that overall a B+ match.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'll keep it right there because, like I said, wrestling-wise, it was a good match, but in the ending, it's just like we always say, creative messes up a lot of matches because they just don't know how to write off the ending. And so we don't have a problem with who's winning, is the way they win. And the thing with Bray is Bray's known for losing at pay-per-views. So if he's lost at all these pay-per-views and you're gonna have him winning now, at least have him dominate in the match, not a poke to the eye and then using his finisher and that's it.
Agreed.
But B+.
Agreed.
B+.
What was the next match? I'm trying to do it off memory.
Big Cass and Enzo, the tag team breakup, a.k.a. Cass using Enzo as a weapon a little bit more.
Okay, now this match, we all know the storyline to this match. We all seen it coming. The big heel turn for Big Cass to turn on Enzo. WWE really has Enzo looking like a joke. Like I don't know how long he's gonna last as a solo wrestler, but he needs to win matches. I honestly thought this was gonna be a match that was gonna be unpredictable and give me Enzo for the win. Just a little redemption for what he's been going through these last couple of weeks. But WWE went with the whole let's use Enzo as a test dummy all over again, and Big Cass picked up the victory with the big boot after him tossing Enzo around like a rag doll for 90% of the match.
Yep. Yeah, this is like one of the. I could break down the tag team story more than I could break down the match because the match really has no point in being broken down. It was just Cass beating up Enzo. But the sad part is, why did they break this team up? Like, Cass and Enzo right now are not looking like they're going to have any kind of success in singles. Like, Enzo by himself, we're not in the Rey Mysterio era. Where's Enzo going to go?
He really. I mean, I would have to really see his wrestling skills as a solo star first, because every time I see him in the ring doing solo stuff, it's always either somebody's jumping in, interfering, or he just gets beat down.
Exactly.
So maybe WWE should test him, or even send him back to NXT for a little bit longer to, tighten up his skills. But I doubt that happens. So
and see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, if you really think about it with Enzo, like, how many wrestlers can we say from the main roster that they need to go back to NXT?
There's a couple of wrestlers that need to go back. A couple of them.
Yeah, but right now Enzo got the spotlight on him.
Mhm. I mean, he's cool. He's great on the mic. He knows how to get the crowd amped up. His passion and his energy is always good. But when it comes down to just ring performance, it's not up to par. That match, because it was expected and we knew what was going to happen. I'm gonna give it a C+. It's really not much I can give to a match that we already knew what was going to happen. So I'll definitely give that match a C+.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Battle Rap John. He just hit me up right now on Twitter. He's talking about the backstage heat with Enzo. I was reading about that. They saying that Enzo got beef with a lot of the wrestlers backstage, and that supposedly Roman Reigns kicked them off the tour bus while they was leaving Raw. I still don't care about no damn Roman Reigns. I'm not gonna go into my Roman Reigns rant right now because I got a lot of shit I can talk, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyways, supposedly Roman's looking like a good guy right now for kicking Enzo off the bus. Again, I just feel like, what the hell is Roman doing bullying little Enzo? Enzo got beef in real life with the wrestlers backstage, so this might have something to do with him taking that loss. Maybe they are writing him off. Never know. Like, maybe Enzo really is getting written off. But then again, if he's not, and then Big Cass got put in that single situation, his first look didn't look too good. We're going to speak on that when we get into Raw. But Big Cass didn't have too much of a good look his first night out by himself without beating up on Enzo.
Mhm.
And we're going to see how that turns out. Yeah, unless Enzo goes into a manager position or something, like speaking for somebody else, I do not see him having no type of real title run. If there was any chance for him to show wrestling skills, it would have been against Cass. Show something. Like, you can't just get beat up the whole fight.
Exactly.
But that's what happened.
Mhm. Yeah, but that was that.
Moving on to the next. Yeah, we're going to move on to the next, which was one of the best matches I feel of the night, the Iron Man match, tag team, the Hardy Boys, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yep.
This was one of those that ended up bloody. Our boy Broken Matt Hardy ended up with the bloody eye.
Mhm.
I'm calling him Broken Matt till he comes out.
Broken Matt. I love this setup everybody got going. Yeah.
When he does the little sneak shots, and every little show he's taking a little sneak of what was on the pay-per-view. He did the little line where he's talking about he was watching cartoons with his kids for 30 minutes, and he was like, "I'm gonna say it was magnificent." Like that. All right, now he's starting to talk like the Broken Matt again. Then the next night he said, "Oh yeah, we might be a little bit bruised, maybe even a little bit broken." Like, yeah, Matt be speaking lines and I be catching those. So hopefully we get to see that character turn for real. I would love to see the Broken Hardys in WWE. They would be running crazy through there.
This match definitely
it's funny how a character makes a difference, but yeah. Definitely this match was one of the best of the night.
It was one of the best matches of the night, and it was also another match where I felt like the Hardys did get robbed out of the 3 count because I seen the ref count to 3, and then Sheamus comes in and breaks the hold, and the ref doesn't count it as the 1, 2, 3, and it should have went to overtime. It should have had a sudden death, but Sheamus edged the win. We'll probably see the Hardys take the belts at SummerSlam, and it'll be one of those finales to this great back and forth between two good teams. But
I definitely agree that the same thing with the finishes. Like it was another one of those situations where at the beginning of the match you thought it was over already. Like the amount of wins that Sheamus and Cesaro had, Hardy's wasn't supposed to come back from that. So the fact they were even able to tie it up, they should have just left it there and let it go to sudden death and make it a good ending 10-minute match. They should have gave them the time. These two teams could have made it crazy. I understand it was a 30-minute match, but just give them that extra 10 minutes and let them go in.
Mhm.
But again, it could be to drag it on till SummerSlam. So I'll give them that. They probably just did it because they didn't want to end off the rivalry yet. But there's a lot more tag teams there that I want to see in competition. So let's figure out who the champs are going to be.
I definitely agree with that.
Let's see, who's the follow-up? After that, we had the Women's Championship match, Sasha and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss with the crazy arm.
My favorite, Alexa Bliss, she's the total package. She's beautiful. She's good on the mic. She's very talented, very, very ring savvy, intelligent, in and out of the ring. She's the perfect heel for a woman. And she does her thing in the ring. She's very versatile, and we all know what Sasha can do. I'm just tired of the storyline with Sasha. We need to see somebody else, something else. WWE Creative got to get better with how they're booking people for the championship match for the women's division, because there are a lot of good women in
they were wasting a lot of talent.
Both brands. You know,
they definitely wasting a lot of talent when it comes to the wrestlers.
Mhm.
But yeah, Alexa, man, I don't know that arm. She did that fake broken arm shit. Ah, man, I was like that right there was the moment I knew, like, yo, she's different. It takes something special for you to do something like that. Like, that solidifies your heel role. Like, how do you fake your arm being broken? Like, it was twisted all the way back. That wasn't regular.
Crazy.
And Sasha Banks, the one problem I have with her is that she should have stayed a heel. The minute she stopped acting like she was the boss, like, she looks like she wants to cry every match now. Like, she loses, she don't get mad. She be looking at it like she about to start crying in the middle of the ring. Like, yo, this is not the boss anymore. Now you just looking like you feeling like a sucker and just getting beat up, and that's it.
You're looking like now you're no longer the boss. You're an employee now. You feel me complaining about your job. You went from boss to employee. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on right now. But Alexa Bliss, WWE got to keep doing anything with her, because she's definitely amazing. She's one of those wrestlers I can watch over and over and over again. I actually had a dream match that I would love to see Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus or something like that. But you know.
Oh man.
That's something.
If only it's rarely we get to see the old school people come back.
Yeah, very rare, very very rare. It would be nice, but you know, I don't think Trish is done with wrestling, from what I know.
Yeah.
Or AJ Lee. I'll take AJ Lee too.
Oh man, AJ came back.
Yes.
That one hurt.
Yes.
Her and Paige.
Yes.
Both of those.
Shout out to AJ
them
Lee,
not being around, that hurts.
It hurts a lot, because I
was watching a bunch of AJ matches the other day. She used to be going in, but they fucked that one up too.
Yep. Now we go on to what matches after that?
Dean and The Miz.
Oh, a storyline I'm actually sick and tired of seeing.
Oh my god! I don't know how they switch brands. Like, this is the how you want to get a fan tired of a storyline is you make it go from one brand to the other. Like, this shit came from SmackDown to Raw and it's still going.
Basically, and it's like, okay, we get it. We need to see more with the Intercontinental title as well. There's a ton of superstars on both rosters that you're just full of talent, and I feel like they're just wasting it on the same guys over and over, and not just the same guys. These are guys that are former champions. both former heavyweight champions, and it's like, okay, we're gonna take two former heavyweight champions, and do the same thing with the Intercontinental Championship. Like, come on, man, come on. Let's get past this. We know what they're trying to do. We see why
they're really not put anybody else there. Like, they have so much talent that there's no one else you could decide to put as a challenger for the Intercontinental title. Just have these two, and that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree even more, man. I really couldn't, because it gets boring. I guess for the kids it's perfect because they really don't know what's going on. But for people that's been watching this for so long and being accustomed to a certain thing that they do, when we see this, it's like, okay, what's next? Like, you're boring me now. Okay, come on, let's do something else. Let's really put our
point. I just realized Curtis Axel used to be an Intercontinental champion.
Yes.
And this guy is part of his entourage just sitting around. Like, why? That's a perfect example of wasting talent on the show. You got a former Intercontinental champion standing right next to him, and you're using him in his entourage instead of giving him actual competition.
Man, you're speaking the truth right now.
I can't figure it out. WWE, if y'all need some writers, just holler at us. We can tell y'all how to do this right.
Please, we can get y'all going, man. We really can. WWE, please.
This is getting ridiculous. We could keep it for the kids, but we just gonna make sure that this is real. All of this is getting ridiculous. We don't need to see the same people fighting all the damn time. They recruit all the guys that's coming from every other company. They bring them over to WWE and then just have them sit out. Perfect example is what happened with Austin Aries. He got tired of being there. I'm pretty sure that's why he left. Like, he went from being a top guy to getting put into the cruiserweight division. Guys like Neville, heavyweight champion of NXT, cruiserweight division.
Fact.
We've seen a lot more from these guys. Finn Balor, heavyweight everywhere, and he's fighting Elias Sampson. I keep going. There's so much wasted talent here right now. Like, it's crazy. Who they got Nakamura fighting right now? The Money in the Bank guy. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Like, these dudes have fought. Nakamura fought Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah,
and was whooping his ass, but here he goes. Like, shit, they're not utilizing these guys right. And the Intercontinental Champion story is another situation with the same thing.
Being wasted. I hate to see good talent come to WWE and then go from top tier all the way to mid tier and then back up top tier for a brief second, then back to mid tier, and then months later or a year later they want to be released, or they don't they don't sign an extension or anything because they're sick and tired of being used as rebounders or cleanup trash just to sell a show. When these guys come from main cards, they're going dumb hard. They're putting their bodies and all that's on the line just to be basic in the WWE. I understand WWE is the URL of wrestling, but if I could just throw that in there, but it got it. No weed.
Yeah, definitely. Now I definitely agree, man. It's like the part I always have an issue with when they're like talking about who they're gonna bring over from other like companies is like, why if they come here, what you gonna do with them? Like, you see, I've shown you with Kenny Omega. I would love to see Kenny Omega on WWE, but
oh my God,
if Kenny Omega comes to WWE, are they gonna put him where he belongs? Or are they going to have him in the cruiserweight division? Like, that would be sick. I wouldn't even want to watch him.
Yeah, it's definitely
There's pros and cons to come into the URL sometimes.
What they got to do is just, I have to go back into the vault and think of all, like, certain storylines and matches that we used to watch back in the day. And I would honestly write a letter to WWE and just give them a list and show them, like, look, I understand you're in the whole PG era, but let's throw this in here. throw this in there. I mean, look what WWE turned into. We got LeVar Ball showing up doing whatever he want to do, and it's funny.
That, there's really not much you couldn't stop. Like after that, they should have took that as a cheat to like, all right, yo, look, this happened. The people got over it this fast. Cool, we good. Now we know. Ain't nobody talking about that no more. That was a big story at the time, but we ain't really talking about that as much anymore.
I just got a text saying that Vince McMahon is trying to bring, Triple H is trying to bring Mayweather and McGregor onto WWE. I don't know how true that is. I have to, do some research on that, but that's the text I just got.
I did see a couple tweets from Triple H in them telling them there's nothing like, a promo on the big stage. So, and Mayweather's been there.
Yeah, he's been.
And they got a connection with the UFC too.
That'd be dope. That'd be a nice back and forth segment, a little funny segment.
Battle Rap John just hit me again. He said Omega's only on a year contract right now with ROH, so I never know after a year.
That's a good one.
And supposedly Vince McMahon said that he looked at him like the man. Yeah, fact. Battle Rap John hitting me with the exclusives right now. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, they just had the G1 tournament. He ended up winning the U.S. title in New Japan. Like, he was the first United States champion for New Japan Wrestling. So
nice.
He just got that belt. He's the top guy in the Bullet Club over there in ROH and in New Japan. So it depends on him. At the end of the day, does he want to stay the top guy where he's at, or is he going to come in and be a part of a bunch of stars in WWE?
He should be a top guy. He definitely should be a top guy. I got a chance to watch Matthew show, man. I'm just like, yo, this guy's phenomenal. He's really, really good, and he comes over there. I think he should be like the Goldberg of this generation, because that's how good he is. I think he should have a nice little streak to go and just dominate. But it will be hard because
I recommend to anybody that hasn't sat and watched a Kenny Omega match, just watch Kenny Omega versus Okada. You will thank me. They have had two 60-minute matches, star matches. Check them out.
Spell Okada out for them, for those that don't.
It is Okada. So Kenny Omega versus Okada, Okada. They got part 1 and part 2 because they fought each other twice in 60-minute matches, and both of those matches was action from the beginning to the end. And it has to be a part 3. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
For the people that only pay attention to WWE, if you want to venture out, check out New Japan, Pro Wrestling, check out ROH. Those are things that definitely got some kind of connection with WWE right now, because every other week they're bringing over talent from over there. And it's Triple H. So, Vince McMahon must have been stubborn and he didn't want to connect with nobody, but Triple H is definitely making those cross connections, because every week we seeing people from the other companies just popping up on NXT or on the main roster. So, we're going to see who's next. Amazing.
We got to see that. Our next match was, a good match in my eyes, a good back and forth, was the ambulance match between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. And we all know the story about them. The big dog, a.k.a. Roman Reigns, and the man beast, Braun Strowman, who I believe deserves, he needs it. I want to see him versus Brock Lesnar. That's what I want to see. I want to see him and Brock Lesnar go at it. But getting into this match was very brutal. It was what we expected to be, very chaotic, a back and forth between two big dogs, and the man that claims he runs the yard now. I thought he would have won the match, but WWE went in a whole different direction with that. But Roman Reigns definitely got some revenge at the end by crashing the ambulance into the cement pole, and ultimately damaging Braun Strowman. And we'll love to see how long it's going to take him to get back onto the scene. You know how WWE do after things like that. They like to let their wrestlers take a little mini quick break leading up to another big event, which is SummerSlam again. I'm going to keep pushing SummerSlam.
Yeah.
those guys, you know, they gave us everything in that match. They gave us performance. They gave us, you know, the character, their whole character, everything about that match was just good. You know, we always see a lot of ambulance matches, and some of them don't live up to the hype. This one definitely lived up to the hype between these two monsters in the ring, these two big dogs, and I hope this feud does end, because we need to look forward to this. Was soon to be, in my eyes, a fatal four-way or a triple threat for the Universal Heavyweight Championship against Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns, and whoever that fourth person may be. Not sure. I'm hoping it's Finn Balor, or I'll even take Braun Strowman. But overall, great match.
Yeah, definitely agree. And just breaking it down, the majority of the match was back and forth with them fighting. I found the ending a little bit hilarious, because it kind of finished with Roman Reigns spearing himself into the ambulance, and then Braun just closing it. But what happened after the match is kind of what made the match. If we want to be honest, the whole Roman getting out ended up beating Braun back, putting him in the ambulance, driving to the back, and smashing him in the ambulance. Like, I get what WWE is trying to do. It's just like, Roman Reigns being a heel would have been done easier if they just had him as a bad guy going around beating everybody up. Point blank, period. All this extra shit they trying to do to push Roman is actually making fans not like him, and not because he's a heel. They just don't like his character.
Agreed.
Like, he's not trying to be a bad guy. He's trying to be a cocky guy. And it's like, yo, what? Everything that you got right now, they keep handing to you. Like, you got from the Undertaker's match, and you come back, and the first thing you say is, oh, I don't know who the number one contender is, but it's me now. Like, what? So you're pretty much saying you don't even got to earn shots anymore. You just come in and just get your whatever you want.
Basically, that's what he's
I
doing.
feel like if Roman was just going through beating everybody up and just winning matches like that, everybody would be a lot more into the heel character of Roman Reigns. I be telling people, they didn't make Roman look like a heel there. They made WWE look like a heel, because they proved that WWE will do anything to push Roman Reigns. But they really don't have to. All they got to do is tell him to shut up and fight. That's it. Boy, you ain't even got to talk on the mic. Just come out there like you used to through the crowd, walk up in the ring, beat people up, and walk right back out through the crowd. I just revived Roman Reigns for you, WWE. You're welcome. That easily.
Come on. Get us on, man. Get us on. I'm trying to tell you, we could put some things together for y'all show, man. I don't know what y'all writing over there, but y'all gotta get it together.
I don't get it. It'd be simple things. Like, it's like they're really racking their brain trying to figure out how we gonna get the fans to like Roman. It's really not that hard. Even if you want them to love to hate him, like, there's a lot of heels that we really hated, and it's like, it wasn't because of that. We hated them because they used to cheat or they used to really violate people. Like, the reason we hate Roman is because Roman is just annoying of the positions they put him in.
Agreed.
Like, nobody wanted him to be the guy to beat the Undertaker.
Nope.
If you was gonna end the streak, we could have had somebody else. I would have rather John Cena end that streak before Roman Reigns.
Ooh, I smell a point.
You would go from that. What else you could go? What was the match before that he got the big win? When he won the championship?
Oh, was it Roman Reigns? Yeah, right after the Royal Rumble. No, yeah, he did. He won it at was it WrestleMania?
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of the positions that Roman gets put in, like, a lot of people, like Finn is a perfect example. Why Finn didn't get put right back in that position when he came back?
Exactly.
Why
he
Seth
should have been the first.
Get put right back in that position when he came back?
Like, they should have been the first
their way back up to the title position. But for Roman, it's like, here you go.
I think they're saving Seth, just like they're doing with Dean Ambrose. You're just saving them two for the big Shield reunion. We seen a little glimpse of it on Raw with them both saying they're not helping each other, but we know they really are helping each other, because if that was the case, they would have brawled right then and there, but they have no reason to brawl, because what WWE is trying to do is put them in a position to where they all link up, but that's impossible because, well, not impossible, it's just not going to happen right now because they're booking Roman Reigns for all the main event matches, and I can't even lie. Roman Reigns is going down a familiar role, which is the John Cena role. This is the same thing they did with John Cena, but John Cena character when he first came in was a lot more cornier. Roman Reigns.
Yeah, his switch was different.
Yep. They really want him to.
Switches were kind of backwards because it was like John Cena went from the fake rapper. No, actually, he went first from the guy that was dressed up like a weird wrestler with a headband. Then he turned into the fake rapper, the Thug Life. Then he went from Thug Life to the Hulk Hogan character of have your vitamins in rainbow colors. And then Roman was like, he was the quiet guy that was like the muscle of the Shield, that all he used to do was come out there and kick ass. Then he tried to be the cool guy that was just trying to talk good on the mic, but he's not a talker. He's not that good on the mic. So when that stopped working, he started trying to talk shit and be a bad guy. Then that didn't work either. And like I said, the perfect heel character for him would have been him just whooping ass. We all know that Roman can whip ass. The problem is they're not letting him do that. They made him a generic guy into the Superman punching a spear. Like that's all we look for now when you see a Roman match.
That's it. That's all we look for. We don't see any kind of versatility with his moves. You know, I know every move that's gonna come, and even I still get excited when I see the Superman punch. I really love that move. By the way, that move is it's crazy. It's basic, but it fits Roman. It's Roman. That's Roman's thing, and that's cool. The spear, we've been seeing the spear forever. You know, there's really no ha or surprise with that. So it's pretty cool. With Braun Strowman, I think he's not only he is acting his part, but I really feel like he really wants all the big name competition. We need to put a belt around him. Put him in the Intercontinental Championship race. If you want to put him somewhere, put him there. We're not going to see him as a tag team champion, and right now we're definitely not going to see him as a heavyweight champion right now. So give him a little run at the Intercontinental title and let him go on a little streak with that belt. Just like you make him the Neville of the Intercontinental Championship right now. That's what I feel. That's something I think he's good at because he's so dominant. You know. And if anybody remembers Braun Strowman started out as one of the party people, and I forgot the name of the group.
One of the Rosebuds.
Yeah, he was a Rosebud for Adam Rose.
Wasn't he the guy in the bunny? He was the guy in the bunny suit, and he was like dressed in that Dragon Ball Z shit, the Vegeta.
Yep. So these guys.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
These guys really, you know, they really come from nothing. You didn't expect to see that guy. Braun Strowman was one of those people I didn't see coming at all. He went from being a Rosebud to being part of the Wyatt family, and now he's on his own. So, and he's been dominant. Yeah, he's had a few losses, but you know, it's time to put a belt around his waist. Let's see what he could do as a champion. You know, and I think he'll be very dominant as an Intercontinental champion, and it takes us away from the normality that we see going on with these championships and these matches. And now we get to our final match, you know, Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar.
Oh, man. Why couldn't we just let them keep fighting?
Brock said something on Raw.
They just need to let two guys just keep fighting.
It should have been a more definitely a longer match. It should have went the distance, but it couldn't have been because of the whole 30-minute Iron Man match. But see what WWE's trying to do with Brock and Samoa Joe, and we know all that's going to culminate at SummerSlam once again. And the match started off brief. Samoa Joe didn't want to hear nothing that was going on. He didn't want to hear all that. He wanted to get down to business. And Brock said something on Raw, like he kicked Samoa Joe's ass. No. It was really Samoa Joe giving it to Brock from the start of the match towards the middle, and that's when, you know, Brock had to take him to Suplex City. And that's when it got really crazy. And, you know, 1 F5, the match was over. Like, I was like, what? Huh?
That's exactly my problem with this match.
It's crazy. They could have did more with that. They could have did way more with that.
Like, man, it was just a little bit of everything. Cause, like, first of all, Samoa Joe was beasting the entire match. It was about 3 times he caught Brock Lesnar with the Cortina clutch shit. He slammed him into a table to start the match. Before the match even started, then the Suplex City, Brock has suplexed people at least 20 times in regular matches. He only got 6 suplexes in this time. The match only lasted about 6 minutes altogether. And then just like you said, it finishes off for 1 F5. You telling me after everything Samoa Joe just did to him, it just 1 F5?
His last match
another one of those endings
more entertaining than this.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. There's another one of those endings that made no sense. Like what? Yeah, I would have been just fine with him winning with 4, like at least 3 F5s. Like hit F5, Samoa Joe kicks out, they keep fighting, he hits 2 more, and then he wins. That I'm all right with. But you hit, and see, this is what I'm talking about again with creative. How do you write an ending like that? Like, all right, we're going to have Samoa Joe beat you up for the majority of the match. You're going to come back, hit him with a couple suplexes, F5, good night.
Fact.
Like, you know, it was way easier to figure that out, and they just went and twisted it to that. Just finish it with 1 F5. But then again, I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they could be leading it off to SummerSlam, so they want to keep you wanting more. But my problem with it is every time we get a Brock Lesnar match, we know they're short. And if they're going to have a 3-way, 4-way match, they better leave it 10 to 15 minutes. There's more people in that match than Brock Lesnar. If you feel like laying down, fine. Lay down and get out of the way, but do not waste another heavyweight match in 5 minutes.
I agree with all of that. And it's just like, okay. To sum up this whole pay-per-view, like I said, we shouldn't expect a lot to put it to review because it's the one they just throw in for, you know, leading up to SummerSlam. So overall, I give this whole pay-per-view a B-. And, you know, let's just wait for SummerSlam.